I'm Johnny. I am a creative producer, creative executive, and writer at Open Doors. And today I'm here with WHYS, aka Jessica Freed, local LA DJ. And we're going to ask her a few questions. So let's get started. It's my understanding that you're not from LA, correct?
I was born in Whittier, so
Okay, cool. So
yeah,
you're from LA
I
County.
grew up
Okay,
in Southern
cool.
California. Yeah, I mean, I grew up kind of all over the place, mostly like Riverside area, Corona. But then I moved a lot as well, all over like the IE and LA, Culver City at one point too. So I've just kind of am generally from Southern California.
Okay, cool. What made you
Yeah.
decide to like move closer to the heart of LA and start, getting into the DJ thing? Did like growing up in Southern California really impact you in a way musically?
Well, yeah, definitely. My decision to move to LA wasn't really based on any sort of anything besides the fact that we had gotten kicked out of my apartment because my roommate did something that we weren't supposed to do. And I came back from Europe and they like all chaos was just everywhere. I was just like, okay, I guess we're kicked out now. Like, so my best friends happened to have, there was an apartment available next door to them. And they're like, come up here. It's like perfect. And it's like the apartment number was my favorite number, which is number 9. So I was like, okay, like it's like meant to be. It was like so seamless and perfect. And I've just been in LA ever since. So I just kind of ended up here.
I dig
and
it.
I've been here ever since. But yeah, I mean, how I didn't really intentionally think that it was gonna be anything when I started DJing. I kind of just did it because I had like anxiety around playing music for my friends. Like they'd pass me the aux cord and I'd be like, no, like it's okay. And my friends would get frustrated. I remember one time we were like hanging out and they like literally picked me up and physically dragged me and like made me pick something. They're like, stop being weird, you've showed me my favorite music, like come on. Like I was like, okay, I really need to get over that weird anxiety I have over like choosing things for other people. Cause I was like, oh, what if not everybody wants, and it's like, no one cares. Like I just did it for myself kind of to bring myself out of that anxious mind state and like make myself kind of realize it's not that big of a deal. I didn't really think I would be playing gigs that soon or anything. I just kind of, people wanted to book me and I was like, I'm not really ready, but okay, like I'll do it. Like it was more about pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And then now it's kind of becoming more of a thing and I'm like going with it, I guess. Seems to be my life.
That's
But
how life happens
I mean, now
sometimes.
yeah, totally. And so now I'm like going with it a bit more. I'm like, okay, well, what else can I do? Like I always wanted to learn to produce as well. So that was kind of the goal. I figured DJing is a good place to start too with that. I'm like, okay, like I need to stop being afraid and just do it and jump headfirst into it.
I feel that. And I gotta
Yeah.
say, you have some pretty cool friends for doing that for you because, I don't know a lot of people that would like push someone in that manner in a good way,
Thanks.
Um, so now, you're a DJ, you're doing shows, and
Mm-hmm.
you're going by the name
Yeah.
WHYS.
Yeah.
I've heard some pretty cool stories from my other friends behind their DJ
Mm-hmm.
names. So I was wondering if, there's anything interesting behind that, and why you chose
Um,
that.
yeah. I think when I was, in my teenage years, I would just kind of say random things. And my friends would joke around like, oh, the wise Jessic has spoken, like, and they would just kind of joke around. And I was like, oh yeah, wise, like that's cool. I feel like that's a cool word. I like it. And I like to play with words a little bit. So it was just a fun spelling. It's a little more like loopy, easy to spell out, like cursive. I just kind of liked it. And then I just kind of went with it. I was like, it's cool, right? I don't know.
So, for those people who are watching right now who maybe haven't experienced your sets before in the past, could you like
Mm-hmm.
describe your sets and kind of like what you're thinking when you go into them? Do you kind of have a certain vibe that you have in mind, or do you just normally go off of whatever the crowd's looking for in the moment?
Well, It depends on the day. I usually just kind of go with the flow a bit. And it's funny because when I'm actually DJing a party, a lot of the time, if I do it right, like if I get my mindset right, I'm kind of in a flow state. So I'm not really thinking too much. I'm kind of just feeling and listening to the music and just kind of like chilling, you know? But I've definitely had moments where I was like, I remember I played this party one time and I had a bad day and I let it affect me and I felt so guilty. Like I was like amplifying my bad vibe and throwing it through this sound system and blasting it at a bunch of people. And I was just like, okay, like I really need to just focus on getting myself in that good, positive mindset so that I can share it with people, because it is kind of, you're kind of blasting them with it through a huge sound system. So I generally just kind of try to, yeah, go with the mood. Like sometimes my sets are a little more dancey. Sometimes they're a little more chill and like introspective, depending on the time of day or night that I'm playing and the crowd. And, you know, I just kind of go with the flow.
One thing that I've come to notice since I got to LA and I started shooting these club events and after hour events out here is there isn't many girls behind the decks. Do you have a take
Yeah.
on this? Like, what do you think about that?
Well, I think there are a lot of female DJs. People just don't always book them. You're right, it is kind of a dude fest sometimes. I mean, with the parties that we throw, it's usually we try to keep a balanced lineup, like at least as many women as men on the lineup. Just because we're trying to make it normal. Like sometimes you see those events that are like, oh, all woman lineup, and it's like this should just be normal. Like you shouldn't have to say anything about it. Like
Yeah.
standard procedure, right? But I guess not. You know, there's a lot of talented women in LA. I think there's more now, yeah, than there were before.
Word. Do you have any advice for any like, budding young female DJs who might be watching this right now?
Yeah, just don't be afraid to be yourself. Just be loud. Don't let anyone try to quiet you. And that's pretty much it.
That's great advice. I like to hear that.
Yeah.
How about this? You wanna give a shout out to those friends that you mentioned? We're all about
Yeah, I
promoting
mean,
that open doors, so.
yeah, totally. I mean, my friend Craig, Liquid Giraffe, is like one of my best friends. He's always like hyping me up. And my friend Gabby, she's always like right next to me, you know, we're like a little team. So she's always, you know, we're always bouncing ideas off each other and talking to each other. So that's always cool, you know.
Have you ever
And of course,
collaborated with her?
yeah, we've done a lot of back-to-back sets. We're going to be recording a mix soon. Yeah, she's like my right-hand girl.
Okay, cool. I just asked because I recently spoke to someone else who is doing a DJ collaboration, and I just thought that was kind of like an interesting thing that I don't hear too much of. So.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I cut you off. You had one other person you were giving a shout out to. I don't want them to be left out.
Well, I mean, you know, my partner Julian, we throw events together and stuff, and he just really, you know, is always giving me opportunities, and it's nice.
You know, we've kind of talked about it already, but you know, it's 2020 and it's Corona time, and we're all stuck in the house. So what does a DJ, an artist do to kind of express themselves and just get themselves through this time?
Well, you know, I've just been listening to a lot of music and downloading a lot of music. We did a few live streams, which was fun. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing all sorts of things. I've been focusing a lot on the clothing and fashion stuff that I've been working on. Been making a lot of masks. Yeah, just trying to figure out ways to adjust. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
just focusing on I've just been focusing on learning new skills and pushing myself forward even more so that when this is all over eventually, you know, it can hit the ground running. So yeah, just trying not to like lose hope or focus. Just sticking at it, you know, it's like, oh, well, I'm not gonna be playing any gigs anytime soon, but I still love doing this. So I'm just hanging out in my house, still playing music. But, you know, why be sad about it when you can just make the best of it and figure out ways to shift gears and just make it work? Yeah.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we're going to be signing off.
Thanks, you guys.
Peace out.